Hello, and welcome to the SWAT Health Trainer Certification Course Level 1. My name is Dr. Jason Pajikowski.
And I'm Darcy Brown.
And we are super excited to be here today to provide you with this course content. And this course is really what we feel to be the most robust, well-rounded, and thorough personal training course that's out there on the market. Now, as certified personal trainers and certified strength and conditioning specialists, we've definitely taken our share of courses over the years. And we've learned something from each and every one of those courses, and they've been great. But we were able to identify certain areas where there's a definitive knowledge gap. And so there's information that really we thought should have been in place to make someone a really well-rounded personal trainer. And so what you signed up for is a course which takes all that information, all of our experience, puts it together into a really top-notch course.
Being a personal trainer places a lot of accountability on the trainer themselves. You're responsible for the health and well-being of the client while motivating them and guiding them to accomplish their goals. When we started SWAT Health, we wanted to bridge the gap between clinical services and the services that were being provided on the gym floor. Over the last 7 years at SWAT Health, we've also identified a gap in the knowledge that is being provided to personal trainers. We found a large discrepancy in the foundational knowledge that the trainers have when stepping onto the floor and providing that service to your clientele. This course is designed to bridge that gap.
Let's take a quick look at the course content so you know what to expect from this course. The first thing we're going to do is start with the foundations, with the basics, all the guiding principles that personal trainers need to know to be effective. We're going to start off with a discussion about the human energy system, about muscle anatomy, muscle physiology, and how muscles contract. We're then going to move on to adaptations to exercise, both aerobic and anaerobic, as well as a discussion of human biomechanics and human movement. Now, with all these things together, you're going to have a really good appreciation for how the human body works, how it adapts to stimulus, how it adapts to stress, and what your client is going to experience during a personal training session. In addition, we're going to learn how to manipulate things like sets, reps, and work to rest ratios in order to maximize gains so that your clients can achieve their goals.
We will also discuss the science of exercise like moment arms, resistance curves, and progressive overload so you can have a better understanding of the principles of hypertrophy and adaptation.
Next, we have an in-depth discussion of the muscles and muscle groups that we'll be targeting in our personal training sessions. So we'll discuss things like origin, insertion, and muscle function. We'll also provide some evidence-based clinical insight so that you will know how different muscle groups are potentially affected by injury. By knowing muscle function, knowing which exercises target the muscle the best, and which different modifications you can use to target different parts of the muscle, in addition to knowing those tiny little tidbits of clinical information, you will be an exceptionally well-rounded trainer and you'll be very valuable in a healthcare setting or in a gym setting without a healthcare team. Then we move on to two sections that we are really proud of: movement screening and core training. A good plan always starts with the basic understanding of where a client is currently and what their goals are. So we establish what is this gap, what is this deficit between where they are and where they want to be, and then we can put together a plan which will help them achieve those goals. The first step to doing this is a movement screen. So in this portion of the course and in this module, we're going to show you how to screen all the movements that are going to be accomplished during a personal training setting. And more importantly than that, we're going to teach you how to identify what the nature of that deficit is. So if I have someone who's got a mobility problem in their shoulder, there's really no amount of patterning exercise that's going to help them achieve mobility. They need mobility exercises. On the other hand, if someone has good full passive range of motion, but they can't control that motion, giving them additional mobility exercises won't actually be helpful. We need to pattern their movement. And this is something that we're going to teach you how to identify and then how to fix. With respect to core training, the first thing we'll do is debunk a lot of the myths surrounding core stability and training in this area. The second thing we'll do is look at the concept of spinal penalty. So when you're performing an exercise, what impact does this have on the anatomical structures in the low back? We'll then look at safety guidelines to make sure that we're selecting the right exercises. And finally, we're going to take a look at some of the exercises that you should avoid. Probably people will be surprised at a lot of these exercises because they're commonly prescribed, even though they're actually pretty injurious for the low back. Then we're going to present a series of movement or direction-based exercises, which are going to shore up someone's ability to have good spinal control and good spinal stability. Now, these exercises are going to be chosen based on the assessment that we did in the module before. So hopefully you'll see how all these modules link together. So thematically, all of these are in a direct line. So we'll be able to assess someone, figure out what their deficit is, and then provide them with the exact exercises that they need in order to make sure that we've got excellent spinal control. So what kind of trainer will you be when you're done this course? We wanted to make sure that we gave you the freedom to be whatever type of trainer you want, which means to work in whatever environment you want, whether it's a gym setting, a personal training studio, or as part of a healthcare team. We want to really get away from the idea that the only thing a trainer is there to do is to count sets and reps and to yell at their clients. Certainly, sometimes that is required, and we need to motivate people. But we want to make sure that with this personal training certification, you are able to work in a whole host of different environments. So here at SWAT Health, our personal trainers who have undergone the exact same course that you're about to embark upon are what we call clinical trainers. And they're clinical trainers because they are an integral part of our healthcare team. Certainly diagnosis, providing therapy, and coming up with a plan of management are under the purview of the person with the license to do so doctors and therapists. But our trainers are in a perfect position to be able to execute those directives. So our therapists and doctors will come up with a plan, and we know that our trainers are skilled enough to be able to execute those rehabilitation plans and achieve those goals. Now, once this is done and a person can move well, they need to move often. And at that point, the personal trainer assumes a more traditional role here at SWAT Health, where they're building capacity and making sure that clients achieve their goals, whether it's weight loss, weight gain, changes in endurance, or perhaps bolstering a certain movement pattern in order to be able to perform a vocational activity.
In short, the SWAT Health Trainer Certification Level 1 will provide you with both foundational as well as advanced concepts that you can apply to both your own training as well as your clients immediately.
We've put a tremendous amount of work into this project, and we're super proud of it. We really hope that you get a ton of information from it and that you enjoy it.